We are going to start standing if you are okay with that. If not, you can sit yourself down if you like. It is your practice. Thank you so much for being here for this Tuesday morning class for stress, anxiety, and activating that parasympathetic nervous system. We just move a little bit slower with intention, with love for ourselves. I'm grateful that you made it here today, this morning. So what I'm going to ask you to do first, if it feels good for you, if you want to be seated, feel free to sit. Then you're just going to feel those sit bones onto the earth, even the feet touching the floor if you're on a chair. Maybe taking out that excess flesh from the sit bones. And then you want to think about activating those abdominals. And so even if you're standing, you can be doing the same. Feet are about hip width apart. That's about 2 fists between. Micro bend in the knees. We don't want to lock them. Showing our knees some love. And then just like with the seated posture, activating the abdominals. Just kind of thinking about where they are and thinking about squeezing them. Even if you don't feel you can squeeze them, just kind of the thought process going there. Yes? And then we think about the length of our spine and notice if the shoulders are rounded and just allowing yourself to bring those shoulder blades a little closer together. And then letting those shoulders softly drop away from the ears. We can hold a lot of tension in our neck. And the arms are out beside us, so you can bring one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, or you can have the hands at prayer if that feels good for you. So the heart is open, shoulder blades closer together, ears away from the tops of the shoulders, crown of the head being pulled up to the sky. A lot of things to think about, even when we're just standing here. And I like to rock back and forth on my feet just to find that balance point. Eventually we want to feel all four corners of both feet rooted into the mat. And that's creating your structure and your foundation for your practice today. And then when you feel rooted and you stop rocking back and forth, just finding that place of stillness. Doing a little body scan. You can close the eyes here now if that feels better for you, or maybe the eyes just get a little heavy. You can feel from the feet moving all the way up, the ankles, and the lower legs, the knees. When we think about the joints, imagining like a circling, enveloping energy around them, protecting them even further. Breathing into the upper thighs, into the bum and the hips. Breathing into the lower back and lower belly. Thank you, muscles. Mid-back and mid-belly. The lower rib cage area. Breathing into the heart and the chest. The shoulders. The lungs. Breathing into the fingertips. The hands and the wrists. Remembering that circling energy around the joints, the forearms, the elbows, the upper arms, the tops of the shoulders, through the neck. Breathing into the facial muscles, the jaw, slowly moving its way up, past the ears, the cheeks, the nose, sides and the back of the head. Breathing into the forehead. All the way up into the crown of the head with that little quick body scan. Just coming to stand again here in stillness, listening to the breath moving, noticing if it's fast or the brain is taking over, the mind is taking over with thoughts, just allowing you to listen to the movement of the breath. As we listen to the sounds of the inhales and the exhales, it allows us to quiet down the mind, to quiet down the racing thoughts, realizing there is no place we need to be. The past is the past, it no longer exists, and the future is uncertain. We just create scenarios, so just allowing ourselves to be here in the moment. And if the breath isn't already moving slowly, it begins to naturally slow down when we just begin to consciously be aware of it. I'm just going to slow it down even further. If you can, breathe in through the nostrils. You're going to breathe nice and slow and full. So at the end of the inhale, getting the belly nice and full like a balloon. When the inhale is done, the exhale begins, and the exhale allows that belly to come back closer to the spine as we're slowly releasing it, collapsing the rib cage, deflating the lungs, and back out the windpipe, out the nose or the mouth. Really slowing down that exhale as much as we can. Again, inhale nice and full. Exhale, almost like you're letting out a balloon, just a little bit of air at a time. You're just slowly allowing it to release. And when you think you've released that breath, release it a little bit further. I'm going to count the seconds on the inhales and the exhales next. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, lengthening a little more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can make it to 8, even better, but allowing yourself to feel comfortable with the breath. Inhale again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just come back into that movement of breath without counting. Feeling the movement. Allowing the arms beside you or hands to prayer for a couple breaths. Noticing what that stillness and that foundation you created, that quick body scan and connection to our breath brought into your body, mind, and spirit today. Taking 2 more full breaths and we'll get started in our spinal warm-up. Releasing any excess tension on the exhale if that feels good for you. And then our spinal warm-up begins. You can have the hands to prayer or to namaste, like a nice hug for yourself for a full inhale and exhale. Then inhale, arms up overhead. As you fill up on the inhale, you might even look up towards the sky, not collapsing the back of the neck. Then on the exhale, you're going to hinge at the hip. Back is flat. And with the release of the breath, you're going to move down towards the standing forward fold, but not completely. As the exhale ends and the next inhale begins, you begin raising those arms up to the sky. On your next exhale, right arm comes down, and that left arm reaches on a diagonal over to the side of the room, lengthening out the left side of the body. Inhale, reaching up to the sky. Exhale, left arm is down. Lengthening out the right side of the body. I don't know if you can hear all my chickens singing today, but they are quite wild. Inhale, reaching up to the sky. And exhale, down to the hips. Reroot those feet. Inhale, looking forward, fill with breath, with prana. On the exhale, guiding those eyes over the right shoulder with the release of breath. Maybe a mild twist in the upper body. Then inhale, come back to center. Exhale over the left shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, release. And if you want to, you can hold onto the wall or a chair. You're going to inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale, release. And exhale, drop. Take one breath, then we'll do the other side. Then you're going to inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale, release. And exhale, root down. That's one full round of our spinal flow. Feeling the nourishment and the warmth that was created with our first flow of movement. One more breath here until round 2. And then inhale, exhale. Somaste, namaste. Inhale, arms up overhead, perhaps bringing your gaze up to the sky. Exhale, hinge at the hip. Releasing the breath, coming down as if you're in standing forward fold. Just with that release of breath. As the inhale begins to fill up, we raise up towards the sky like we're dancing with the movement of our breath. Exhale, right arm comes down, lengthening out the left side of the body, reaching that left arm long. Then inhale, right arm is raised. Exhale, left arm comes down, lengthening out the right side of the body, not collapsing into the left. Remembering that micro bend in the knees if you're locking them. Inhale up to the sky, and exhale slowly down to the hips. Inhale, looking ahead, exhale, slowly looking over that right shoulder with the release of breath, mild twist. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, looking over the left shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, release the arms. Take one breath. And then root that right foot down. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale, release. Exhale, drop. Take one breath. And then the other side, finding your balance here, rooting the left foot. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, squeeze that right leg into the body with the arm. Inhale, release. And exhale, root it down. That's our second full flow, our spinal warm-up. Noticing the quality of your breath. Perhaps the softness that's created, the warmth. Taking one more breath here, and then we'll do our final flow of spinal warm-up. Bringing the hands to prayer, or Namaste. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Maybe mild back bend here with that inhale. Exhale, hinge at the hip. Forward fold, hinging at the hips as you release the breath. Inhale, reaching up towards the sky. Exhale, right arm comes down, left arm reaching to that right top corner of the room, lengthening out the left side. Then as you begin inhaling, right arm is raised. Exhale, left arm comes down, and reach that right arm on that diagonal, lengthening out the right side. Inhale, left arm is raised. Exhale, both hands to the hips. Reroot, looking forward. Inhale. Exhale, slowly bringing the eyes over the right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, looking over the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, release. One more on each side on the legs. We're going to inhale, root down, lift that left leg. Exhale, squeeze that left leg into the body. Inhale, release, and exhale, root it down. Take one breath. Then inhale, root into that left foot, lifting that right leg. On the exhale, bring the right leg in towards the chest. Inhale, soften and release. Exhale, root it back down. Arms beside you. Maybe a little rock back and forth again to find your foundation. And then finding that stillness when you're ready. Taking 2 more full breaths here. Remembering at any time, if you feel like sitting, feel free to do so. This practice is completely accessible standing or seated in a chair or on the mat. After we've done some breath work and we've nourished our body with our spinal warm-up, we'll go into some postures all the way from our head to our toes. Just holding a few more breaths and getting a little more depth and opening as we still connect to that long, slow, deep breath. So you have a couple options here with the neck. You can either leave the arms beside you and you can bring the chin forward and then just looking up towards the sky like we did in the spinal warm-up. And then on the exhale, you're just going to allow that chin to come in towards the chest, eventually rounding that neck and bringing it all the way in with the release of breath. Or you can use that basket behind the hands and get those elbows nice and wide. On the inhale, you're going to look up. Again, we don't want to put too much weight into that basket, just to letting it rest slightly. And then on the exhale, bringing the elbows in towards each other and the chin to chest with the release of breath. Okay, so wherever you are, root those feet down again, hip width apart, micro bend in the knees. I've created the basket I will be doing today, bringing it nicely secured behind the back of my head. I'm going to inhale, create as much space and openness in my heart as I fill with prana. And then on the exhale, as I slowly release the breath, I'm going to bring the elbows in towards each other and the chin in towards the chest, nice and slowly with that full release of breath. 4 more times. Inhale, nice and slow. Open up, looking up towards the sky. Exhale, slowly bringing it in. 3 more full breaths. Inhale, nice and full. Is your breath moving with the movement of the body? Exhale, slowly bringing it in, rounding everything as you completely release that breath. As the next inhale begins, opening up slowly. Elbows wide, heart is open. Back of the neck is strong, front of the neck is long. Exhale, slowly bringing it in. And one last breath just like this. Inhale. And exhale, slowly round. As you release that breath, completely releasing the breath before you release the hands from the back of the head, and then slowly bring the crown of the head back up towards the sky. Take one breath here. In our mountain posture, very strong and rooted, or maybe you're seated in easy posture, cross-legged. Now we'll open up the sides of the neck a little bit longer. Inhale. On the exhale, you can bring the right ear towards that right neck, lengthening out the left side. Inhale, feel that oxygen enter into the left side of the neck. And on the exhale, maybe bring that ear a little closer to the shoulder, even just 1 millimeter. Inhale again, soften, feel that length, that opening. Exhale, a little bit closer towards the shoulder as you release the breath. And one more here, inhale. Exhale. As that exhale is complete and you begin that next inhale, just recentering the neck for one full breath. We don't want to rush into the other side and hurt ourselves. Inhale. On this exhale, you're going to bring the left ear towards the left shoulder, lengthening out the right side. On your next inhale, you're going to feel again that breath, that prana, opening up those tight muscles in the right side of the neck. Exhale, bring that left ear towards the shoulder, even 1 millimeter. And then one more breath here. Inhale, open, lengthen. Exhale, deepen a little further with love. And then on your next inhale, just recentering the neck. Exhale, taking one full breath here. Now we're going to get some nice nourishment for the joints. We're going to go get some shoulder circles. So it doesn't matter how big you make them. If you don't want to raise the arms and that doesn't feel good for you, and you just want to do the shoulder circles like this, also an option. I'm going to make some nice exaggerated circles today in both directions. Just observing or being aware of any excess cricks or cracks coming out in your shoulders. Other direction. Allowing some lubrication, some softness, some flow here. Quite often we forget about our joints in our body and showing it some love. So we created the shoulder circles in both directions. Now we can do the elbows. Again, you can do elbow circles, drawing circles with your fingers. Or you can go back and forth. It's like a bicep curl. Bringing some nourishment into the elbows. Getting any excess vata, air, space, dryness out of the body. Going in both directions if you haven't already. And then the wrists, just allowing yourself to create a fist. And then bringing those wrists into some beautiful flowing circles in both directions. Again, it doesn't matter which direction we go first. Again, nourishing out those wrists. And then squeezing the palm like a fist. 1, 2, 3, and then extend. 1, 2, 3. Squeeze. 1, 2, 3. Extend. 1, 2, 3. Squeeze it in. 1, 2, 3. And exhale. Extend. 1, 2, 3. And release those arms. Standing here in mountain. Feeling the sensations from the top of our head to the tips of our fingers. Now we'll go into some side bends. Again, if you're standing or seated, doesn't matter. You can allow yourself to not lift the arms and just go into the side bend like this. This is all right. If you want to have a hand on your hip, it's also okay. If you want to have one arm raised, like in the spinal warm-up, or you can have both arms raised, interlocking fingers, pointer fingers to the sky. We're going to inhale, root those feet down, micro bend in the knees. Exhale, bringing your body over to the left side, lengthening out the right. So you're staying where you are. Inhale, fill with breath. Exhale, come down a little bit further. And remembering to activate this side of the body. We're not completely collapsing into it. And feeling the length created. Activate the abdominals, root into those feet and lengthen out a little bit more. Exhale, come down a little further. Inhale, soften, fill with breath. Exhale, come down. And then inhale, come back to center. And exhale, release the arms if they're lifted. Taking one more full breath here. And then we'll go on to opening up the left side. Again, we're going to be lengthening out the left side, not completely collapsing in the right. Yes? Shoulder can be open, coming down. Both arms can be down. One arm can be raised or on the hip, or both arms can be raised. Again, interlocking those fingers, thumbs together, pointer fingers to the sky. Feet are rooted, knees are slightly bent. Inhale, reach, and exhale, bringing those arms or that body over to the right, lengthening out the left side, not collapsing into the right. Inhale, soften, root down, find length. Exhale, come down a little further. Lengthening out a little bit more. Then inhale, exhale, coming down. Inhale, reaching up to the sky. If your arms are raised, and exhale, coming back down to prayer. And arms out beside you. We'll do the rest seated now. So if you're not seated already, we're going to make our way down there. We're going to do a seated twist, whether it's on the chair or on the mat. Remembering if you're on the chair, just that the feet have to be grounded and rooted into the earth. Spine is long. If you're seated here comfortably, just taking that excess flesh away from the sit bones. You can bring the right arm beside you or behind you, or grabbing onto the side of the chair if that feels comfortable for you. And we're going to bring that left palm on the outside of that right knee. And you're going to inhale, you're going to lengthen up. And on the exhale, you're going to press that hand into the knee. You're squeezing the abdominals and you're just twisting from the core. And it doesn't matter how much you're twisting. You just want to get really nice posture, open up, squeeze, and then begin to twist. We never need to rush into it. When you finish releasing the breath, inhale, lengthen, open up. Exhale, press and twist a little bit deeper. As you release the breath, your eyes are coming a little closer to the back of the room. Inhale. Exhale. Release, press and squeeze. Maybe the eyes are getting to the back of the room already. Inhale. Exhale. Press and twist with the release of breath. One last inhale and exhale here. And then release. Come back to center. Sitting here in easy posture. Maybe hands are open to the sky or hands are rooted onto your legs. Spine is still long, heart is open. Just taking a few rebalancing breaths here before we twist it out in the other direction. And when we twist it out in the other direction, you can bring that left arm beside you or holding onto the chair, or you can even bring it behind you if that feels more comfortable. Yes? Right palm this time on the outside of the left knee. We're going to inhale, squeeze the abdominals, lift up. And on the exhale, you're going to press that hand into the outside of that left knee and just guide a nice twist in the core and the center of the body. Now we're bringing it out, twisting it out in the other direction. Remember, stopping where you are so that you can fill up on the inhale. And then exhale, press and twist a little bit deeper into it with the release of breath. 2 more inhales and exhales here. Maybe the eyes are getting a little bit closer to the back of the room. One last inhale, fill up. Exhale, press and twist as you release that breath. And then as you begin the next inhale, recentering that spine, coming back into easy posture or seated on the chair. Just taking a few breaths here. And then you can grab your hands onto your knees. And whether you're seated on the chair, yeah, if you're on the chair, it's still okay. Or you might even grab onto the corners of the chair. If you're seated and cross-legged, you can grab onto the knees. And we're just going to guide some hip circles now with our breath. As you move forward, inhale. Again, doesn't matter which direction. And on the exhale, you're guiding yourself backwards in the circle. And at first, those circles might seem really small. And they may get bigger and more exaggerated with each breath. So we're just nourishing those hips in both directions. We'll take 4 or 5 breaths moving one way, and then we'll move ourselves into the opposite direction. Taking one more full breath here. And as that exhale is released, you're finishing that circle, and as the next inhale begins, you're changing direction. So you're moving the opposite way you did to the last circle. Still forward on the inhale, and exhale back. Inhale forward, open up the front of the throat, the heart. Exhale, kind of rounding it in and protecting yourself as you bring it back. 2 more full breaths. Inhale. Exhale. And 1 more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Completely finish that breath and movement. And then on your next inhale, coming back to center. Feeling that stillness. 2 more breaths here. Using any tools that you've learned to allow those thoughts to dissipate or be accepted and sent on their way. And we're going to go into some knee bends. So you can come back. If you're seated, you can just lift the leg in a chair. If you're on the mat, you can bring the arm behind you. It's probably easier. And we're just going to kick the leg up and down. So one leg can be bent and rooted into the earth. Going to inhale, kick it away from you. Exhale, root the foot back down. Inhale, kick. Exhale, down. 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale, root. Inhale. Exhale, root. If you can't lift that high, just lift as high as feels good for you today. Inhale. And exhale, root down. Take 1 breath here. Then we'll lift the other leg. Again, arms are rooted, helping support you in that right bent leg. Foot into the earth. You're going to inhale, kick the left leg away from you. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, kick it away from you. Exhale, down. 3 more times. Inhale. We're also strengthening our quadriceps here. Exhale, down. The tops of our thighs. Inhale. Toes towards the face, heels away. Exhale, down. 1 last time. Inhale. And exhale. When you've done that last release of breath, making your way back up into a comfortable seated position. We'll allow that right leg then to be lifted. I guess if you're on the chair again, you can just lift that right leg. You can keep the left leg in its cross-legged position if you're seated and that feels comfortable for you. And you can lift the right leg. You can even assist it by using the strength of the arms, if that feels good for you. And then again, we're going to guide some nice little circles with our ankles. Getting a lot of cricks and cracks in this one. We do one at a time here, 1 foot at a time. With our wrists, it's a little easier to do both at a time. Again, doesn't matter which direction you go first. Nice and slow. And then opposite direction. One last full circle here. And then release. Changing leg, you can bring that left leg out, right leg in. If you're seated or just lifting that left leg, you can use the arms to assist you if that feels good. Then we're just going to guide the ankle circles in both directions here. Ooh. I feel like it's hard to do the ankle circles on this side today. A little bit more challenging, just being aware of that. And then again, it doesn't matter which direction we were making those circles, going in the opposite direction now. Still moving slowly and intentionally with the breath. And then one last full circle here. Releasing that leg. Bringing that right foot out to meet the left. And then we're just going to squeeze the feet in like the fist. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then extend the toes as much as you can. Inhale, squeeze the feet. Exhale, extend and reach. Again, inhale, squeeze the feet into a fist. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And exhale, release and extend. And then coming back into comfortable seated posture. Finding your way to a spot that you think you can be seated, relaxed for a number of minutes. We finished our spinal warm-up and our nourishment of our body, all the way from our heads to our toes. When we come back to that stillness that we found at the beginning of the class with our breath, noticing if it's moving even longer and slower and deeper than it was at the beginning. Listening to the peacefulness, the calmness that's been created in your breath. And then we'll do 5 rounds of B breath, just allowing ourselves to hum on each exhale, creating that vibration to strengthen our vagal tone throughout the body. Doesn't matter which level you're going to be humming at, whether it's low, medium, or high. We just want to create that vibrational sound, that movement within. If you'd like to feel it even further and you want to take away the vision, covering up the eyes even more, bringing darkness and plugging off the ears with your thumbs, feel free to do so. You can feel that vibration even more within the body. So just releasing that last exhale. And then inhale, fill up. Round 2. Last one, inhale. As you release the humming, releasing the hands away from the face if they're there. Bringing the hands onto the knees. That feels good. If you need a cushion to sit on, you want to sit back a little bit still with the spine long in a resting posture. Just going to do the short meditation here seated today. If it feels better for you and you want to lie down on your bed, on the floor, on the couch, please feel free to do so. Just being aware of the body and allowing that energy to flow. Just do a short chakra clearing meditation here, allowing that energy to flow better throughout the body. First, bringing our breath and our awareness to our legs and our feet, activating our Muladhara chakra. So as you're breathing, you're just allowing your awareness to come towards the legs and the feet. And as you feel that breath entering into the legs and the feet, they activate that Muladhara chakra, our root chakra, our safety and our foundation. We need to feel safe within ourselves before we can move through the rest. External circumstances we cannot always control, but we can control what goes on within us. And that's why it's so important to slow down, connect to the earth, connect to our breath, and connect to that base chakra that allows us to flow from here through the rest. And even though every chakra has all colors of the rainbow, tends to be connected more to the color red, maybe like an earthy brick red. And you've created those roots and that strong foundation. And then bringing your awareness from the legs and the feet and coming into the area of the hips, the bum, connecting to our Svadhisthana chakra, our water element, our go with the flow in life. For our water chakras to open and to flowing, we can get caught up in our emotions, overwhelmed by everything that comes our way, every wave that crashes us down, we get taken down. If our water is not active enough, it's like a still pool of stagnant water, without movement, without flow, maybe too much control. We just allow ourselves to breathe into this area, opening it up, allowing that energy to flow, and allowing ourselves to ride the waves of life. We can't control the situations and the experiences that happen, but we can control how we respond and react to them. And then bringing your breath into the lower rib cage, the upper belly button, that mid-center where our Manipura chakra is located, our fire element, usually connected to the color yellow. And this is your belief in yourself and your ego. Ego tends to get a bad rap all the time. Yes, our ego can take over negatively in many ways, but our ego also makes us individual and unique. When we can connect to our Manipura and allow our fire to burn bright and evenly, we can walk in our path, feel confident and strong in our purpose. And then guiding your breath into the area of your chest, your heart, your lungs. the shoulder blades, connecting to the Anahata chakra, our love elements, usually connected to the color green. I feel as though because the oxygen feeds the plants to create that beautiful green color in them, reminding us to breathe and take care of ourselves first before we can take care of anybody else. Loving ourselves, number one. And bringing your breath into the front of the throat, even the entire neck area, connecting to the Visuddha chakra. This is where we are connected to the element of space, openness, speaking our truth with honesty, with love. And part of speaking our truth is being able to listen to the truth of others as well. We have to allow that flow of communication to move with ease. So allowing any cobwebs or stuck energy to be cleared out here with your breath. Last couple inhales and exhales. And that was the last chakra connected to the physical elements, as we had earth, water, fire, air, and space. Then we connect to our Ajna chakra, our third eye, that pineal gland here, right above the eyebrows, bringing your awareness into this center. This is like a bridge between our body and our spirit, our connection to our intuition. Whenever you get that gut feeling of whether you think something is right or wrong, you've activated that third eye. And when we can quiet down those monkey thoughts in the mind, we can allow that pineal gland to guide us a little bit more clearly and calmly. And then finally bringing your awareness to the crown of the head, connecting to that Sahasrara chakra, the connection to our soul, our God, our Atman. Here we realize we are a microcosm of the macrocosm, that when we breathe, the trees breathe. When we cry, the stars cry. Realizing each ripple of positivity and love that we set out into the universe creates that ripple into the entire universe, one little tiny step at a time. And just taking the last few breaths, feeling that energy flow all the way from the base, all the way to the crown of the head and back through with each inhale and exhale, maybe 3 or 4 full breaths. And allowing that clearing of energy to help you guide you through your day today. And allowing you to have the best day ever. And remembering and reminding you that we cannot control the people around us, the situations that happen, the experience is out of our control. But what we can do is we can control how we react and how we respond in situations. Realizing that anger and chaos and judgment can bring us out of alignment, and peace and stillness and calmness can bring us into compassion and understanding. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had a beautiful practice. May the light and love